All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome to this week's episode of Mouse Minds here. We are live for you on YouTube. I'm just waiting for the rest of my co-hosts to join. They should be joining shortly here. But I wanted to get started here so we could get this up because I think this is a great topic that, I may not get a full hour out of this because I don't have any co-hosts and want to get their opinion right now. But they will be joining here shortly, hopefully. And we are going to go live for you today. And we are live, of course, on Twitch, TikTok, Facebook, all the amazing places. YouTube, of course, the Disney and Beyond YouTube channel. And we are here for you, coming live for you. And we love to be here for you on the internet every Tuesday at 8:30 p.m. And of course, we put the podcast up every Friday at 5 p.m. So thank you for joining us here. My name is Robert, if you don't already know that. And of course, we have our co hosts, Luella, Lisa, and Michael, which should be joining us hopefully later. I know Lisa for sure, but they'll be joining us later. And I am happy this week because tomorrow night I will be finally going to Halloween Horror Nights. So I am very excited for that. I'm very excited to go in some of the houses there. I think the Terrifier house sounds the most intriguing to me because I'm intrigued by this whole like get wet, not get wet thing. So I'm going to see how that plays out. But in true me fashion, I always have the best intentions of going to HHN early in the season to get it out of the way because I have it included with my premier pass for Universal. And that never happens. I say, oh, that's not the right time. I'm going to wait. Oh, I want to go when the time's right. And then it comes down to the last few nights, and I wind up there. So that's what we're doing this year again, as always. But it is going to be a great night, and I'm going to get some great snacks because pizza fries will be there, and I love the pizza fries. So we are going to have a great evening. And I've heard stuff about a mozzarella stick and some other things that I need to try. So yeah, we're gonna be trying all the snacks tomorrow night. So I'm excited for that. Well, everybody, welcome to this week's episode. This week we are going to be talking about the Disney resorts, and I want you guys to chime in if you have a favorite resort, if you have a thing that draws you to that resort. Join in the topic. You can chat with us live here on YouTube or on Facebook. Post your comments on Facebook where we are streaming there live as well. And we will try to answer all those comments and get to you. But this week, like I said, we are going to be talking about the Disney resorts. What is your favorite Disney resort? Go ahead and leave that in the comments on our Facebook page. Let us know what your favorite Disney resort is, and we would love to chat with you about that. So, getting started into that, I think I have kind of a laundry list of resorts. I've had the privilege, and I say privilege, of staying at every resort on property at Walt Disney World except for Riviera. I've been in a Riviera room, but I have not stayed in a Riviera room, but I've seen the rooms. And there was a minute there where I was hopping from DVC resort to DVC resort. I've also stayed at the Disneyland Hotel a few times. Um, have not stayed at the Grand Californian. I stayed at the Pixar Pier. Is it Pixar Pier Hotel? I stayed there before as well. Well, this was before it was Pixar themed. And I can't think of the name before it was Pixar themed, but I've stayed there before too. So some amazing resorts. So we're definitely going to be talking like about those resorts here. Now, I have to say that it's really hard to narrow down my favorite Walt Disney World resort because I like so many of them for so many different things. I like the Polynesian because of the Polynesian theme, the rooms are fantastic, and there's also a lot of history at the Polynesian as well. So a lot of cool stories and things like that happened at the Polynesian. If you Here comes Lisa. Lisa has joined us. Welcome, Lisa. I wish I had sound effects. Is there what's this? Let's see what this. I don't even know. There's music but no sound effects. But we need sound here. I will applause for Lisa
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
because she joined us live. So welcome, Lisa. How are you doing tonight?
I'm good.
Good,
Just
good,
running
good.
late. I hate
That's
that,
quite all
but I'm
right.
sorry.
No, that's perfectly fine. We are glad to have you here with us this week. And this week, I thought we would talk about one of our favorite things that we all have done at least once in our life, if you're a Disney fan, and that's stay at a Disney resort. And I figured we would
Okay.
talk about our favorite Disney resorts and what are those things that draw us to those favorite Disney resorts. And I was actually starting off with talking about the Polynesian because the Polynesian is one of
Mm,
my favorites, just because of the theming and all the things that make it the Polynesian between the uh, Ohana and the hula dancing in the lobby and just all the
right.
beautiful things that make it that amazing Polynesian theme that we all love so much. And I think that's definitely in my top five Disney resorts on property. What about you, Lisa? What do you like? What are your favorites?
Uh, since you started with the poly, I will not go with the poly. That I really like the poly,
I
but
went with the safe answer.
I I would say if somebody said, "Hey, where do you want to go?" I would say, "Let's go to um, Coronado." I like the Grand Destino
Okay.
Tower. I really like it. I like the smell when you walk in. I like
Mm-hmm.
the property, the pool,
Mm-hmm.
the restaurants that are available at all the
Mm-hmm.
times. Um, the the well, and if you ever get the chance to do like a club level, it's
Yes.
phenomenal. I
One
just
one of the best on
really
property.
like that. Yeah, I really like it. I would say that that's kind of my go-to if I get to do one of those upper level.
Mm-hmm.
And I've done club at Poly, and I really like that too. But um, and I like the
Yeah,
regular
Polly
rooms. I'm
Polly has Polly has a
not gonna
nice club
complain.
lounge. Polly has a nice club lounge because if
Yeah.
you don't know, the club lounge for Polly is actually outside of the Great Ceremonial Hall in a building literally right behind it. But the cool thing about the Polly Lounge is, and I have to find a photo so you guys can see this, is it's basically a two-story lounge, and it is it faces Walt Disney World. So you can see the castle literally outside this window, and it is awesome. And I did just find a picture of it here, so I can kind of show you guys what we're looking at here. And then in the Poly Lounge, they have oh my gosh, I can't think of the name of it, but they have this drink there, and it is absolutely incredible. It is like a it's like a pink drink with like the pog juice in it and then like champagne or something like that. And it is the greatest thing. And they have it like all the time, all throughout the day.
Hmm.
And it
Really
is
good.
I've yeah, it's really good. And I've been with people that were just staying at Polly, and I've been to the lounge with them because they were staying there. And just to have that, I mean, it's just is so worth it. That is such a nice treat to have that there. And of course, all the lounges really, I mean, there's not really a lounge that's like I would say is horrible. They're all pretty amazing in their own right. They all have
I agree.
something that makes them special. Um and what is it, the lounge at Fort Wilderness Lodge always gets consistently rated as one of the highest club lounges, like in the United States or something like that. There's the Poly Lounge, by the way. You can see the like the two-story window there.
It's
That is a
amazing.
really cool view. Because if you're in the lounge, it literally faces. I know you can't see it in this photo, but it literally faces the castle. It's almost like that shot inside of the wedding pavilion where that faces the castle. So that's an awesome place to watch fireworks. And then, of course, if you're doing a club lounge, you have your breakfast, you have your dinner. They don't really say breakfast or dinner, but I mean it is dinner. And then you have at the club lounge, you also have your late night snacks where you'll have like desserts and then cordials, and I can't say that word, cordials. I'm saying that weird. That's not the right way. I apologize. But you'll have cordials in the lounge as well. So that's really cool. I've had the privilege of going to quite a few of the club lounges. I'm trying to think I think I've almost been to all of them. I don't think I haven't been to Riviera. I don't know if Riviera has one, but I've been to quite a few. And they are just that is
Yeah,
a real
I
treat.
haven't
Staying,
been to Riviera either.
yeah,
I haven't
staying
even stayed at Riviera in all honesty. That's still on the list, but I have not stayed at Riviera. I've
that.
went through it and looked,
Hmm.
but I've not stayed there because yeah. Anyways, I really like the breakfast, the character breakfast in there. So,
Hmm.
anyways, that's a whole other story.
Well, no, that is part of the resort experience as well. So we can definitely talk about that too. We will come back and circle back to our favorite resort restaurants when we come back to that. But yeah, the going back to the club lounging, if you ever get the opportunity to stay club level, and you can swing it, absolutely do it. It is 100% worth it. You have a whole lounge to yourself, and it is a lot of fun. And I've done it a few times. And if you stay at the Poly, then you can get that amazing view. But also, the lounge at Boardwalk has a nice view of Epcot too. So you can go because it's on the second floor and you can watch the fireworks from there, and that's another nice lounge. So I could spend I think I could probably spend a whole show talking about the lounges. I think the one at Boardwalk is called the Steeplechase Lounge, and then I know the one at Fort Wilderness is the Territory Lounge. And I'm trying to think what there's one at Animal Kingdom too. I can't remember, but I've been to the Animal Kingdom one too, and that's a nice one too because you have the animals right there, and then of course all the snacks and food you could ever want. But when I say food, and Lisa can back me up on this, they legitimately have a full meal. They'll have a small buffet. They usually have like one or two like hot items, and then like the rest is like charcuterie stuff, like meat and cheese stuff. But it's. I mean, they say like they'll tell you it's not a meal, but I mean, you could definitely make a meal out of it. It's really
You
good.
could definitely make a meal like that. That is one of the big highlights for me because I'm not like a big meal eater, but I
Mhm.
can totally graze on that stuff all day. So
Yeah,
it's perfect.
yeah, it's an awesome addition. So let's go back to it here. So what did you? I'm trying to think. Did you pick one, or do we?
Yeah, Coronado, Gran
Coronado.
Destino,
That's what it was.
because I
Coronado.
like the club level there. So
That's how we got on the Club of Talk. Yeah, and Coronado is an interesting resort because Coronado has not only a club level, but they're also the only resort on property I think that also has a business club level too, because they have a business level because they do so many conventions at Coronado that they actually have that business level club level too, which is not as nice as the club level. It's like a step below, but there's still food and drinks, which is I don't know. I don't fully understand the difference, but that's what I've been told. But Grandestino Tower is amazing. Topolino's no, not what's the place on top? What's the place on top there? I can't remember the name of the restaurant on the roof there. But
I
that is a
actually can't remember at the moment. That's why I was trying to think of it. I
yeah. I'm trying to
that
think
might
too
be
what that
it.
is.
That might be it. I don't know. I have a brain block for some reason. I'm not sure.
I know, me too.
But
When I see it,
um,
I'm gonna be like, oh my gosh, that's the name, and and I'm trying to find it, and it's Toledo. That's what I was just about to say too, and I thought I was wrong, but Toledo. And I've been there. I went there once, and it was a nice experience. Nothing. I mean, not really. It's like tapas and stuff like that, so not really my thing. I mean, I do like
well,
tapas, but I don't know. It wasn't, but the views are amazing up there.
you can't beat the views. And like I will say that I actually a mutual friend of ours and I went and ate there one night
Mhm.
and it was phenomenal. We both got we got steak, like we got all
Yeah,
kinds of really yummy things and it was fantastic. Like I wouldn't have thought it was as good just knowing what it was. So it was good. I wouldn't I wouldn't say no to that again. Plus, right across from that is a uh, uh, like that outside bar that you can go and you
Yes.
can go outside and look at the, you see the like part of Galaxy's Edge, and
Hmm.
it's just really nice, really really nice.
Yeah, you can sit outside there and enjoy the views, and that is a nice. That is a very nice touch. It's I don't think I don't think a lot of people I think a lot of people overlook because because it's not like a top of the world or a California grill where you're like sitting right next to Magic Kingdom with high up views. But that is something that I think is overlooked. But there's some amazing, amazing views out there. So it's definitely something worth going to and just checking out once. So but moving on from that here, so we did Coronado, we've done the Polynesian. Now I have to say, probably my next favorite resort is going to be, well, I like the Grand Floridian, but I like the DVC side, I think, better for the Grand Floridian than the regular the main building for Grand Floridian. And I'll tell you why. I just feel like the rooms inside the DVC tower are way nicer than the rooms inside the regular Grand Floridian
Like
because
nicer in quality or nicer in size? What
nicer.
what what do you
Well,
mean by nicer?
a size is one thing because now you're in DVC, so you're dealing with one bedroom, two bedroom studios. So you have that those resort style condominiums. So you're going to get a much larger unit. But the other thing is too is like, for example, like in the bathroom in the DVC tower, you have like a shower that is all like granite and marble. And it is like the nicest shower I've ever showered in my life. I walked in there and I was like, I am not worthy of this shower. This is
You
not.
you felt like a king. Now come
I
on, come
did.
on.
I did. Well, not only that, you have the TV inside the mirror. When there's like a TV inside the mirror, so that was a really nice touch. But it is the whole experience there is just absolutely incredible. It's a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful room. Everything is 5 star all the way. It's that one is for DVC wise. That is totally worth every point that you would ever spend to stay there. That is a fantastic, fantastic resort. And of course, it's connected to the Grand Floridian, which you have the monorail access. You also have places like you have Citricos, you have Narcoossee's. I mean, pretty much every restaurant at Grand Floridian is a winner. Even the counter service there is a winner in my opinion. They always have good stuff, but uh, a Grand Floridian cafe, uh, you know, just so many great restaurants there. 1900 Park Fair, which it got its refurb last year or the year before, and now it's got a whole new uh retheme with the wish ceremony and everything that they do with that, which is honestly, I mean, it's a character meal. It's a fantastic meal. I mean, they have a lot of great items on the buffet, and they have the world famous strawberry soup, which I always love. So that is a fantastic meal. I did it for breakfast. I don't think I've done it for dinner since they reopened it, but I've done it for breakfast, and it is a lot of fun. And you get to meet the characters, and then you get to write your wish down on a piece of paper, and there's a whole wish ceremony, and it's fun. It's fun.
Now, do you have the Tables in Wonderland card any? Did you ever
I
have that?
don't. I
Because I
had
did
that.
at one point, but I don't.
Yes,
I don't know if they. I think
they
I saw that they brought it back, but I haven't
really.
done it. Yeah,
I
I'm pretty
did
sure
not
that
know
I
that. So the
read
best
that.
thing, so the best thing um about Tables in Wonderland um is the was the valet parking. So what I used to do, no, they're not doing Tables in Wonderland anymore. But what I used to do
Oh
is
man, I was hoping. You never know about rumors.
well, yeah. Well, the best thing about Tables in Wonderland was not the discount; it was the valet parking, because you could literally park at like one of the resorts, and then go to like let's say you park at Contemporary, then on your way out you stop by the Outer Rim Bar on the Grand Concourse, you get a drink, and then that covers your valet parking. that validates your valet parking. So with your tables in Wonderland, you get free valet parking. So when you're going to Magic and you want to park at the Contemporary, you just say, "Hey, I'm going to valet," and 9 times out of 10, security will let you in, with no question. And then you would use your you as you're leaving the park, you get your drink, whether it could be a soda, it could be uh, an alcoholic drink, it doesn't matter, and you would get free valet. I love that so much. I would every time I would go to the parks, I would get valet just because of the fact that I had the tables in Wonderland. Depending on which park that I went to, I would valet my car somewhere near that park. But that was a fun benefit. But I do miss tables in Wonderland. That was a nice park. But I don't know if I see them bringing that back.
Yeah, I don't either. But like I said, I'm sorry to get us so excited about Tables of Wonderland, but that was a big perk when I would go and stay on a resort,
Mhm,
stay in a resort,
mhm,
picking restaurants that way as well. So
mhm.
that's part of the experience. The the restaurants, the pools, all the amenities. You have to look at all that.
Yeah, and you really and that's true too. Because I there are people that go in with the notion that you're going to spend all your time at the parks and you're never going to be in the room. So why spend any money on the room? But I mean, I feel like if you're here for a week, you're always going to have those down days where you just want to sit back and relax and not do anything, and then having a nicer room, makes that definitely more enjoyable, and having more amenities on site, especially like the DVC resorts, because the DVC resorts do have like the activity centers on site and things like that, that give kids things to do while you're there as well. So that is a nice option there. But you brought up a good point that we should definitely discuss here, and that is absolutely resort pools. What my favorite resort pool would be, but do you have a
Well,
favorite resort pool?
oh, by far, I really, and actually my second, so like my number two resort would be
Yeah,
um, oh my gosh, what's it called? But anyways, the sandy
the
bottom
ship.
pool.
Yep,
Yeah, it's really cool. Now we used to really like the clown pool across the way, but
at the boardwalk.
yeah, I like the boardwalk,
People either love
but
or hate
it's
that thing.
changed.
It either lives in your nightmares or you absolutely love it. I've enjoyed it. It doesn't really bother me that much, but I can see why people would think that it would be something like crazy.
Yeah, and my kids were little, so we had it was the last time we went, it was still, the clown was still in its full glory, and they
Of course.
half of them did not like it, so didn't go over very well. But that was also at the same time when you could go to different pools.
Hmm. You can
But
kind of hop
I
around.
do like to go back during the middle of the day
Hmm.
and go to the pools. That's a big
Yeah, I think a lot of people take that break and kind of do that. And then the nice thing about the pool at the beach club is you have Hurricane Hannah's right there, which is a nice little place to get a drink or have some food as well. So that is an awesome option there, right along the Stormalong Bay pool there. So that is a really nice
oh,
feature of that pool there. I mean, all the pools have some sort of food
oh,
and drink at the pool, but I think that Hurricane Hannah's is one of the best out of all the pools on
mhm.
property there too. And I had a pool in mind that was my favorite, and I totally forgot what it was. But I
I'm
will say,
sorry. Did
I
I
will say one of the
distract you?
things is, yeah. I will say one of the things, with the pools is don't sleep on like Art of Animation and those resorts as well, because they have amazing pools as well. The Nemo themed pool there is just fantastic. All those pools, those heavily, I mean, they're heavily themed pools. So don't sleep on those as well. They're not as, I would say, as fancy as some of the other pools, but they do have some amazing stuff. But I will say, and it just came back to my mind what I was going to say. My number one absolute favorite pool at any Disney resort in the entire world is the Disneyland Hotel pool. And that is because
Oh,
it has the monorail slides, which is like my favorite thing. I loved the monorail slides at the Disneyland Hotel pool. Um, that is like my favorite thing. I'm gonna throw up a picture of that here so you guys can kind of see what that looks like. But that is so cool because the thing about that whole um, thing there is, of course, Disneyland has the old school style. Well, they're not old, but the old school looking Alweg monorails there, and then of course you have at this pool, you have that same style with the monorails, and then you have the old school Disneyland sign on the pool too. So that just adds. I'm gonna throw that up. I don't know why it threw that in the background there. Let me just throw that in here real fast. But that just adds to the theme there and makes that pool just top notch all the way. And it is such a cool pool to swim in. And it's crazy to think about too, because if you know the history of the Disneyland Hotel and know that that whole area there, most of that area used to be like a giant like lagoon, and there was like boats in there and everything else, and now it's like this amazing pool. So, but yeah, there's the monorail slide for the Disneyland Hotel. It is a lot of fun going down that slide. I've had the privilege of doing it one time out of all the times I've stayed at the Disneyland Hotel, because I think the other time that I went, um, it wasn't open at the time. But it is an awesome pool. The Disneyland Hotel itself is awesome as well. I've had some magical stays there. The nice thing about the Disneyland Hotel, the best part of the Disneyland Hotel is by far the bed what do you call it, bedpost in the back there, where it lights up with the fireworks. You go to your thing, you flip a switch, and then fireworks are going off behind you while you're sleeping, and that is so amazingly cool. I can't describe how cool that is. If you never stayed at the Disneyland Hotel, you have to stay there at least once in your life, even if just for one night. Because there's been trips where I've been to Disneyland where I've stayed there just for one night, just to stay at the Disneyland Hotel because it is so iconic. Um, but it is an awesome hotel. And then you also have great restaurants on site too. I mean, Goofy's Kitchen is a fantastic restaurant. Or else can you get peanut butter and jelly pizza, which I know sounds like a crime against humanity, but it is absolutely amazing. And Goofy made it, so that makes it even better. But no,
perfect.
the PB&J pizza at Goofy's Kitchen. Let me see if I can find a picture of that and show you that on here, because I actually enjoy this. I know everyone's gonna go after me in the comments, or some people that have been there might be say, "Oh my gosh, that is so good." I hope that you will say that it is good. But it. Oh, here we go. I found a picture of it. I'm telling you, this is really good.
And
Let's
I
see
love
here.
that you're telling people to try it because if you hadn't
Yes.
mentioned it, I've been there. I have not tried it.
Oh, it is
Nobody
so
said
good.
to do it. So
It is so good. All right, I'm gonna throw it up on the screen here. I just got it here, so just give me 1 second, guys, and we'll get that up there for you so you guys can see that. I thought I had it up here. But yeah, the PB&J pizzas is I think if you're going to Disneyland, you have to do you have to do a trip to um Goofy's Kitchen to have dinner. I mean, there's a lot of iconic restaurants at Disneyland, and Disney's California Adventure. But if you want to stay outside of the parks, here you go, right here. Here it is coming up. 19 or but Goofy's
mm,
Kitchen is, and it's a fun restaurant too. You got all the characters walking around. It's like the West Coast version of Chef Mickey's. And I'll throw it up there so you can see it. And there is the PB&J pizza in all its glory, and it is amazing. I kind of wish I was eating some right now.
have
Um,
you tried to recreate it?
I have not tried to recreate that. Um, it's one of those things that I don't want to try to recreate because I know that it'll not be as good. And I think that maybe part of the nostalgia or part of the fun of that is just the fact that
Mhm.
I'm at Disneyland eating that.
Right.
But regardless, it is I think it's delicious. So I mean, it's obviously not like the best pizza ever made or anywhere close to that, but it is fun and nice and something different. But Goofy's Kitchen in general is an awesome restaurant. And even restaurants at the Grand Californian, what is it? Oh my gosh, I'm trying to think of it, the restaurant uh ah, that I ate at last time I was there. Man, I am all over the place today with not remembering things. But the last time I went to the Grand Californian, I ate at it was the Napa Rose, and it was so good. So that is another restaurant that is on my list. But there's a lot of restaurants that I like at Disneyland, and the counter services, all the counter services at Disneyland Resort, at Grand Californian. It's such a different experience than in Florida because we are so used to, I think, at Disney World having hamburgers and hot dogs. That's kind of like our counter service meal. And we see that a lot around the parks. But at Disneyland, you can like, I mean, one of the most famous like counter service meals is going to the plaza and getting the chicken like picnic basket and taking that and eating that in the hub on Main Street, or Rancho del Zocalo having some of the best Mexican food that I've ever had, which is coincidentally inside Disneyland. It's crazy, but that is what that is. So there's
Experience.
so much
Yeah.
good food out there. Yeah. And even things like in Cars Land, Flo's V8 Cafe. I mean, they have the most amazing breakfast tamales that are so freaking good. But there's so many great restaurants out there, and the counter service quality in Disneyland is I think far superior to anything that we have here at Walt Disney World. I'm sorry for those who work at
Some
Walt
people are
Disney World
crying right
resorts, but
now. Yeah.
but no. I mean, there are some that are good, but
Yeah, you can find little hidden gems, but by and large, it's been 10 years since I've been to
it
Disney World, so I'm well overdue.
well,
So,
it's one of those things where with the with the counter services at Walt Disney World, I think they're more about speed than they are about quality per se, because it's more like grab and go type items. At least in the resorts, the resorts are like that. It's like get a quick breakfast, get out, get to the parks. It's not like it's not like a big thing. Where at Disneyland, them having more locals inside the parks, they're going to sit there for a meal and enjoy themselves and want to do that. But there are some great counter services, don't get me wrong, inside the Disney World resorts as well. The one at Port Orleans has some great options there as well. Of course, you can get the beignets, which people always love. So there's a lot of great options in the parks as well.
yeah, there are. So we
But
did our first and second for
mhm,
resorts, right?
mhm.
Are we gonna
So
keep
if
going?
if we can go outside of, well, it's not. I technically you could call it a Disney resort, but technically you couldn't call it a Disney resort because it's not actually owned by Disney. But I would say my one of my next picks, which I've stayed at a ton of times. I can't count on my hands how many times I've stayed at this resort, and that would be the Swan and Dolphin.
Oh, okay.
Both the Swan and Dolphin are amazing, amazing resorts, and the value proposition there compared to the other resorts is
Hmm.
way, way, way higher at those resorts than say the Disney resorts. It's
Right.
usually a lot less expensive to stay there. They have some amazing food options on site. Um, what they have like Blue Zoo. Um, they have Il Milano. There's a lot of great food options. You also have the new tower that opened up the Swan Reserve, which I got to stay in when that opened, which was an awesome stay. They have a really interesting like pool that's like hidden on the fifth floor of that tower there, that you can actually go to, and it's kind of a cool like overlook, and you can see Epcot and stuff like that. And then of course they have the restaurant on top of that one as well, so you get amazing views up there too. So that is another great location. And of course, the
Mhm.
Swan and Dolphin, always um, have always had great stays at those resorts. The rooms have always been fantastic, and I've had some great meals there. And the pools, they have a nice pool
Me
there with some
too.
nice rock work, and there's like a waterfall, and it's just everybody's having a good time out
Well,
there. So
and the
that's another one that's
location.
great.
I'm just
That
piggybacking
too.
on yours. The location.
Yeah.
Epcot Hollywood Studios right there.
Mhm.
You can't beat that. And I love those Epcot resorts in that area. But,
Mhm.
like you said,
Crescent
Swan and
Lake for the
Dolphin,
win.
yeah, it's really good.
Hmm.
I hadn't
And
even
and the cool thing about
thought there.
and the cool thing about Swan and Dolphin is, I mean, you could walk, you can take the boat to Epcot, you can take the boat to Hollywood Studios, but it's honestly Swan and Dolphin is probably closer to the Hollywood Studios, but you could also walk to Hollywood Studios. It's not a horrible walk. I mean, it's not the same as taking a boat over there, but it's not a super long walk. The same with
Mhm.
walking to Epcot. You could walk to Epcot from there as well, or if you're staying at the boardwalk or whatever. But you have those options, which is really nice
Right.
just to be able to walk over there, and it's not a huge walk and things like that. So that is a nice option as well.
Yeah, I agree. You brought up, and this summer we had the chance to stay
Mm-hmm.
at Art of Animation, and we
Mm-hmm.
stayed in the Cars family
Mm-hmm.
suites or whatever.
The cozy cone.
Oh my gosh, the
Uh-huh.
theming there is just amazing. Like
Mm-hmm.
we took, there were entire families taking pictures
Yeah,
with the different characters.
of
By
course.
far, like I had only seen like the Little Mermaid rooms. Like I hadn't seen the Cars area. So that's
Mm-hmm.
like number three on my list because any kind of wanted any of your favorite anime wanted to go, get pictures with, you could see, and then they had character meetings. And there
Mm-hmm.
was just always something for us to do, and we were just there for a short trip. I didn't even go in the parks, um, because let's see, I was there for a conference or something. But like my best friend and I, and some of the kids, and
Mm-hmm.
we just really had a great, great time. And that was kind of a surprise because prior to that, I probably would have said Port Orleans would be next on my
Yeah.
list, but it's not anymore. Um, it's kind of flipped up a little bit. So, anyways, I don't
Yeah,
always,
people
I just wouldn't have guessed that we would have enjoyed it as much as we did.
I think that Art of Animation gets a bad rep because it's a value resort, and I think it's looped in there with like Pop Century and
Right.
like uh All Star resorts,
Hmm.
but it really is like next level. Like, I mean, it may not have the same amenities as say a moderate or
Right.
deluxe resort, but the theming is absolutely fantastic, and
Yes.
even the lobby itself is absolutely fantastic, and the
Hmm.
food court and everything else. So
Right.
it is a they are very nice
And we like
resorts.
the Skyliner being right there
Very
too. You know,
exactly.
there was just so many positives that it's really
Hmm.
hard for me to come up with anything negative. Staying, like I said, we stayed in that Cars area, and that was just, it really made me think of California and the amazing theming of Cars Land. And
Yeah.
I know that's probably a stretch, but am
Well,
I was just
no,
so surprised how good it
I mean
was.
it does look like almost identical to Radiator Springs in California, minus
Mhm.
Radiator Springs racers, minus the
Right.
Tomato ride, minus all those things. But it does look very similar, and there's a lot of elements from that on in that area as well. So
Hmm.
I could see that being a thing. That is absolutely but yeah, that cars and the suites too, the family suites. I've been in
Hmm.
the family suites at Cars Land, and they are really awesome too. They're like they're like heavily themed. Like if you're into cars, like
Yes.
I'm not a big cars person. If you're into cars, you would love it because it's
Right.
it's that way. But yeah, it is a very nice resort. So
It really was. Like and we, like I said, we just did that in July, and it was phenomenal. Like I couldn't have been happier um, with us staying there. And the Murphy bed that comes down, the I don't know, I think it may have been a king size bed, and the pull out couch. Like there were
Mhm,
just plenty of sleeping options for all of us. So
mhm.
it was wonderful. So
Yeah, that's the thing that kind of shocked me the first time that I went there was when I I was visiting someone who was staying there. Is like everywhere you turned there was another bed. It was like wild.
but when as you know, I have 5 billion kids, and so for so many years, like trying to find a place that had enough bedding for everyone. We didn't have all the kids with us, but it's just it's a really
Mhm,
nice, like, start to finish. That
mhm.
it was a great experience, especially a
That is
value resort.
exactly. Now, for my next pick here, I'm gonna do a little something different here. This is actually my favorite resort, probably my favorite resort on property. I've stayed there many a times. I've done this resort in every way possible, and I guess you would call it you you could call it a resort in some respects, but that would be Fort Wilderness, which would be the campgrounds and of course the cabins. And they've just redone the cabins, and the new cabins are, oh my gosh, they're so pretty. They are just absolutely gorgeous, and I I've been in them a few times, and they are so. It is just so nice out there. I mean, being out at Fort Wilderness, you feel like you're in another world because you feel like you're in the forest. I mean, there's trees everywhere. You have wild animal. There's deer. There's turkeys. There's all kinds of just stuff running around. It's a lot of fun, and it's just nice to have that kind of like peace and quiet. But the cool thing is, like, you go out and you sit on your porch and from your cabin, like in the morning, and you hear like the ferry boats at Magic Kingdom shuttling people back and forth to the park. At night, you can hear the electrical parade outside your room. Like those things are really, really, really nice. And then, of course, there's a lot of things to do at the fort as well between the outpost and the settlement. The settlement, of course, has all the different activity areas and things like that. And then, of course, the outpost has, the Hoop Doo Review, uh, Trails End, all that stuff over there, um, right there. And then, of course, they had the food trucks now. So there's a lot to do there. I wouldn't necessarily call it a resort. It's just one of my favorite places on property. Of course, you have the horses out there as well, which you can go visit. There's carriage rides. There's so many wonderful things out there. It is such a beautiful place on property. Honestly, if you were staying on property and you just wanted to like get out somewhere and go take a walk, just walking around the campgrounds, I mean, you can walk kind of in the trails in the back and kind of see that stuff. And I'm not usually a nature person. That's not really my thing most of the time, but seeing
Hmm.
that is pretty awesome.
Oh, see, I don't know if that's a good segue to my next favorite resort or not,
What's
because
your next
I
favorite resort?
love animals, and um, the best view of animals. Where else can you wake up to a giraffe outside your room?
Mm-hmm.
Where
Yeah.
do you think I'm talking about? Animal
I
Kingdom
think I know what
Lodge.
you're talking about. Of course.
Yeah, I love Animal Kingdom Lodge. Um, just, but of course, my very unpopular favorite park being Animal Kingdom. um,
Mhm,
I love it, and I would rate it higher, but there are some things. It's kind of far out, and it's not as close to some other resorts, or some other
mhm,
parks and things. But we really enjoy it. I like I said, I would just stay out in the balcony all the time, and I used to be one of those people that said, "Oh, I'll never be in the room," but there is no way that I'm not first thing in the morning busting open the window to look and see what animals are right outside. I can't help myself. So, um, the rooms are okay. I'm not gonna say they're nicely themed. They really are. And the restaurants are good too. So I can't really ignore like Boma is good. Sanaa is good. Like there are really good restaurants
Mhm.
that we enjoy as well. But I love seeing the animals. Then that's
I
where I'll
think
stop
that's
on
a
that list.
general consensus for most people is they love seeing the animals. It's one of those ones that they at least do once in their life. I think the um I think the distance of the location, because it's on the edge of like all the parks, like Animal Kingdom. It's right next to Animal Kingdom, but you're kind of far away from like Magic and everything else. So I think that plays. I mean, I think people gravitate more towards the monorail parks and
I
everything else,
agree.
or monorail resorts, excuse me, just to have that access there, which it just feels so much different having that there. But Animal Kingdom is an excellent choice. You've got the safari, the Serengeti, I guess you would call it, right out there, where you can see the animals. Have the giraffes come right up to, not right up to your room, but get close enough to your room to where you can see them. So that is always a nice feature. And I've had the privilege of staying there. I don't know how many times, maybe 3 or 4 times. I've stayed at that resort, and it is always, always, always a blast. Um, just having the animals out there is just one of my favorite things. So that is a very, very good say. And the nice thing about the uh, Animal Kingdom is you have the DVC side as well. People, I mean, having those DVC rooms with the 2 3 bedroom premium villas, those are really nice
Right.
rooms. They are really
They're really
nice
nice.
rooms. Like they are really fancy. Not only that, I mean, you're talking about 2 3 bedroom units, 1 bedroom units that have a full kitchen, everything else, which is something you don't have at a lot of the other Disney resorts. So that is a nice feature to have. I mean, realistically, I don't think too many people are cooking at Disney, but you have the option if you want to.
Right.
But there is some that. And speaking of that too, um, the new speaking of DVC, the new DVC tower at the Polynesian is another one that is amazing. And something I learned this week about that building that I never noticed until recently, and I have to go investigate this for myself and take a trip over there and just explore that resort, is they have these like little enclaves that are on either side of the building. And they're like these like outdoor seating areas that are up like maybe 5 or 6 floors up, and they're huge. And they'll have like a whole row of like couches and chairs and everything else. And they have one side that faces away from the other side of the building, facing away from Magic Kingdom. And then they have another side which faces the Magic Kingdom, and you can see the castle and everything else from this like little enclave. And it is actually really awesome. Um, I'm trying to think of what it's called. Um,
Yeah, I haven't stayed there yet.
um, I yeah, I've been there to. Here we go. I think this is
You
one of
find
them
it?
here, but yeah, this is one here. I'll just throw this up. This is just a general idea of what these things look like here, and they're pretty cool. This is not the obviously you can't see the view with this one, but this is what I could find here, real quick here. But this is like one of the outdoor areas here. Where did I put that? Right here. It's coming up. But this is gives you an idea here of what they look like here. And you can see here, it's kind of like this outdoor seating area, and they have these huge like couches and things like that. And that's on either side of the resort. And I just want to
Cool.
go check that out for myself because that might be something you can just go to
That'd be fun
and
to
check
just
out
hang
there.
out, find new
Yeah, because
friends.
well,
Yeah,
not only that, I mean, you could do that during fireworks. Go sit there and watch the
right.
fireworks there. Um, it, I mean, you obviously have the Walulu, which is on the first floor there, which is has amazing food. I've been there a couple of times, and I've gone there to see the fireworks themselves, which is always, always, always awesome. They turn the lights down and then they pipe in the audio, so that is a great place to see fireworks. You can just sit there and watch them while you have a drink, or you can have a meal there. And they actually have really good food there. So it's definitely worth checking out. So next time you are at the Poly, head on over to the new tower and check that out because there's a lot of cool stuff going on over there. So that is one of my favorites right now. That Walulu Lounge is actually really, the outside seating area is really, really nice. So I will definitely have to go back there soon, and have some fun there. But so I other than, let's see, so we've covered all of our favorites. We've covered all our resort pools. Do you have? Let's finish this out here with favorite resort restaurants. Do we have any favorite? I'm trying to think of what my favorite resort restaurant is. That's at the parks or in the resorts right now. I'm trying to think.
Right. Changes, and it depends on what, if I'm going for a care experience or if a nice
Hmm.
dinner or, I don't know.
If I'm going for character experience, I totally go 1900 Park Fair. I feel like it's one of the best character experiences right now. I know a lot of people will say Chef Mickey's, but Chef Mickey's is too much of a get in, get out situation. Like it's like kind of like a production. They get you in there. Like everything's timed. Like you just feel like rushed. Like you get in, like you see the characters, and then you leave. It's like everything. And 1900 Park Fair is kind of the same way, because they have like this whole ceremony thing, and kind of like you see all the characters, then they do the ceremony, and then like when I went, this was a while ago. I don't know if they've changed, but when I went after they did the wish ceremony, the server would actually put the check on your desk and be like, "Okay, it's time to go." And I'm like, "What?" I was
Get
like,
out.
"Wait, I'm not done yet." And I get why they're doing that. They want to turn tables and
Right.
keep get people out,
Keeping.
but
Yeah.
it was like, what is happening here? But I did enjoy the food. I did enjoy the experience with the characters there. I think that made up for that little snafu at the end. And I still think the only restaurant that I really can't get behind food wise, and I'll probably get a lot of hate in the email and comments and all this stuff about this,
Mm.
is Ohana. I have not had a good experience at Ohana in a long time. I have not done the breakfast in a while, but the dinner, I have not had a good experience. I mean, like I don't eat meat anymore. I'm a vegetarian, but when I did eat meat, it was always like it was burnt, it was overcooked. It just wasn't the best. And then I mean the noodles are good, the pot stickers are really good, but you can get all that stuff at the Tambu Lounge and pay a lot less than you would pay to go to Ohana. So I much better prefer I much prefer to go to the Tambu Lounge and get that stuff there and actually get it at Ohana. I mean, the character experience is nice. I mean, seeing the characters is nice, but I just don't think the food
Mhm.
is worth the price of admission there, unfortunately. But if we're just speaking about just restaurants in general, as far as which restaurant is our favorite at the parks, that's not a character meal. I would say right now, my favorite is probably Steakhouse 71, just because they have an amazing vegetarian Wellington, which I have a picture of somewhere. I would have to find it. I don't even know where I put that, but that thing is
Vegetarian
so
Wellington.
good.
Hmm.
Yes, it is a it
Yeah.
is a it is a pastry wrapped beef Wellington
Right.
style thing with the let me see if I can find a picture of it, with like the sauce on top and everything like that. But it is. Let me see if I can find it. I'll look it up while you guys. But I'll let you go and then I'll try to find it. Do you
Well,
have
and
a
I can't
favorite?
look up anything right now, but to say as far as like a non-character, I cannot. So you'll just have to work with me because my brain is
Ah, here
not
we go. Here we
really.
go. I
What
found it.
is it?
I found it. I
Oh, you
found it.
found it? The beef or the
Yes.
non-beef Wellington, the
Yes. Let me see if
vegetarian
I can add
Wellington.
it to my. Let me see if I can put it on the screen here. No, it's not
Um,
gonna work.
what
Hold
is
on
the
one second.
restaurant in the Contemporary?
Tell
On
me
the
what it
first
is.
floor, you
That's
go past.
Steakhouse 71.
Okay, that's what I was thinking when you said that. I was like,
Mm.
I'm pretty sure. We did a breakfast there
Huh? Yeah, I
last
just had
year.
breakfast there like not that long ago. Like
Was it
maybe like
delicious?
it
Was
was
it?
very delicious. And
Yeah,
honestly, like
it
I
was
was
so
amazed
good.
by the price of the breakfast. because it was
Yeah.
honestly about the same I would pay to go to like a Kiki's or like what is the other place? Like a First Watch. It was like honestly
Mhm.
the same price. I was like, how is this a Disney restaurant? This is not the
And
same.
it was phenomenal, and the service
Yeah,
was phenomenal. We did that
that's
last
true.
year for our anniversary trip, and it was amazing. Um, I I was thinking it was Steakhouse 71 when you said that. I was like, yeah, I
Yeah,
like them too, but we went for breakfast and it was
here you
phenomenal.
go. Here's the vegetarian Wellington. I
Okay.
forget what I had there last time. I had an omelet or something, and it was very good. I have a picture of it somewhere. I did save the picture here. I just had it
I
up on my
always take
screen.
pictures of
Okay.
my food, but I don't tend to share them. So,
All right, hold on one second. I'm
okay.
gonna get this one out too, so you guys can see the. And for those of you listening to our podcast, make sure you watch the YouTube channel so you can see these amazing Disney and Beyond on YouTube. Find the latest episode and watch the live stream so you can see these items on there. And I got both of these coming to you guys right now here, so you can see what I'm talking about here, or hopefully see what I'm talking about if I can put it in the
Oh,
right
the
spot.
anticipation. You're making
I
us
know,
wait.
right? I am making you wait. This is what
Way
happens
to
when you do
go.
things on the fly, folks. All right. So, here is the vegetarian Wellington, which is absolutely gorgeous.
It
And it's
is. Look at
actually
that.
it's actually really good. That is like really good. That is one of my favorite dishes on property right now. I could eat that all the time.
Like every day.
Um, yeah, I could
You
eat that
weren't you
every
on
day.
like a barbecue kick?
I was on a
Other
I was on a Woody's Roundup kick
yeah,
because
for a
Woody's Roundup
while.
has the best
Yeah.
vegetarian. Actually, Woody's Roundup has the best vegetarian barbecue in the whole city of Orlando. I don't know how that's
Wow.
possible or how they're doing it, but that is really what is happening now because there's really not a lot of places other than maybe Four Rivers with the Beyond Burnt Ends, and then there's a couple other places, but they really don't have like a huge barbecue presence. But that barbecue meal at Woody's Roundup is so good. I remember
So
when it
now this
opened.
is replacing that or just in addition to?
I would say it's replacing that, but
Oh,
but
wow.
yeah, because that yeah, I know because when Woody's Roundup opened, I went like the first week it was open, I went like one day and then one day with my daughter, and then I was like, this is really good. And then like 3 or 4 days later, I was like, I gotta go there again,
I'm
and
going
I just
back.
went back because it was so good. But this is the breakfast that I had the last time. Nothing too
Oh,
crazy,
yeah.
just an omelet potato. But it was really good. Everything was seasoned nicely. Everything was fantastic. It was an awesome meal all around. So and like I said, the prices there are the same as what you'd pay at like a First Watch
Hmm.
or something like that. So it's a nice breakfast
Right.
on property. You can eat breakfast there, take the monorail, do whatever you need to do, and have some fun. And enjoy
Yep.
that there. So I think that's gonna do it for this week's show. Unless anybody here, Lisa, do you have anything else that you'd like to add before we go ahead and wrap this up?
Well, this is my first week as a Floridian.
Oh, congratulations.
So,
See, this is
haven't
where
been
I
to the
really wish
parks
that I would
yet.
have sound effects. I need to have sound effects queued up.
Yeah, you could be applauding again. But yeah, so I'm
Exactly.
hoping to be at the parks a little bit more since I'm significantly 1,000 miles closer. So
There you go.
so I'm hoping, but I just wanted to say, yay, I'm here.
Oh
But
my
that was
gosh.
that was
Well,
the only thing I had to add.
we are glad that you are here. And we want to thank all of you for joining us this week on the Mouse Minds podcast live every Tuesday at 8:30. And of course, we are streaming for you on all your favorite platforms: YouTube, Twitch, Facebook. I keep trying TikTok. It doesn't want to approve me. I don't know. It says it's approved and it's not approved. I don't know. I get
And then it
it. I,
doesn't, huh?
I I don't understand. I don't understand how it works. But it is we are here live for you guys, and of course on all your favorite podcasting platforms every Friday at 5. So be on the lookout for that. But again, I want to thank you guys for joining us and having fun with us this week. It's been an absolute blast. Thank you, Lisa, for joining us here.
Thank
And
you.
we will see you guys next week. Now, as I always say to wrap up the show here, if you can dream it, you can do it. So go out there and dream it and do it this week. And thank you guys for